Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And it's going on, Michael Fletcher, alongside Anthony Floyo. We are awaiting Michael Bullock. If he shows up, great. If he doesn't, then we will probably see him on Monday night for another edition of Ridiculously Raw. We will not have Dee Woodson here with us tonight. There was, I guess you can say, a family emergency. Some stuff has gone down that I don't think Anthony and I should kind of hash out without their consent. So I'd rather keep it mum for the minute. And then maybe they'll address it on Monday night, what's going on. So with that said, we got a lot to talk about. We got Smackdown Live. We got AEW. We got two things of AEW we need to get into tonight. Number one, AEW Rampage. We just saw it just minutes ago. And then right after that, we're going to preview All Out. That's going down this Sunday night, live and exclusively on pay-per-view and on a whole bunch of streaming sites around the world if you got it. So it is it. This is it. Here we go. Start off SmackDown Live. We had ourselves an opening contest as it was the Usos going up against the Street Profits. Street Profits wins the match in roughly 8 minutes via disqualification. Okay. I kind of feel like this was it wasn't the best match, and it was kind of a little bit of a wishy-washy ending. I don't know why they went with the DQ finish. I guess I can get it in one sense. I wasn't really overly excited about it, though. I kind of felt like it kind of left a little bit of a bitter taste in the mouth, and I kind of felt like, what the heck, guys? Come on. I know you want to protect the Usos. You give the Street Profits what they want. They're now the number one contenders for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, which I guess at the end of the day, it's fine. But I felt like the match could have been better. It was fine. I just did not like the ending. I think the ending kind of left a lot to desire. 2.5 stars, Anthony Florio, go.
Yeah, solid 2.5 stars from EMF. It was the match was just getting good, and then of course the dreaded disqualification has to come in and ruin things, and it's really frowned upon when it comes to us. I mean, we have a big problem with that. Nobody more so than I do. But yeah. There's no doubt about it. There's going to be this is just the beginning of what's going to be a tag team championship feud on Friday Night SmackDown, and it's going to be once we get to the actual title match. That I believe is when we'll get the banger that these four are capable of. We know they are. So I honestly thought, but then again, Street Profits won by DQ, so technically. That would technically constitute a championship committee moment, would it not?
In a way, yes. I mean, a DQ finish would probably address it. So yes, absolutely. You could definitely say that this was a championship committee moment. Yes.
Even though it wasn't quite the decisive championship committee moment that we're all used to seeing, but
no.
But hey, a championship committee moment is a championship committee moment. Regardless, so I think they will get the title shot. I think they'll probably do it at Extreme Rules, and they usually like to use these extreme stipulations. I mean, I don't know. Ladder match would be pretty cool. Extreme Rules match would be fun. Falls Count Anywhere. I mean, we'll have to wait and see, but then again, these four in a straight up wrestling match would still be a banger anyway. So because we know what these four can go. So and I can't wait to see it. So but this is gonna have to be a 2.5 for now. I mean, it was just getting good, and then they had to pull the DQ BS. So and spoiler alert, unfortunately, that's not the last time we're gonna see Uncle DQ show up, and that's someone I do not want to see. So. That's all there is to say here. 2.5 stars. MF set me up for the next match.
Well, it is not going to be the next match. It's a segment, and this is one that you need to get into.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when we're talking about Becky Lynch, interrupted by Bianca Belair, and well, I guess you can say it, a pretty good exchange, but it is official now. It will happen at Extreme Rules. It will be Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch, SmackDown Women's title. Oh, by the way, the contract signing next Friday night in Madison Square Gardens, New York City. Get ready.
Yeah.
It's yours.
Got to channel my inner LA Knight / Eli Drake. Yeah. I mean, I can't wait to see it. I mean, we all can't wait to see it. I mean, unreal. I mean, really, it's really all I can say on that. So, let me see. All right. Bianca Belair looked like an absolute star here, standing up to Becky Lynch and letting her know exactly what she's about. She was strong, confident, and smart, forcing Lynch to expose herself as a coward. Best of all, the fans bought into it. The same fans that had popped for Lynch's entry into the arena recognized the heel tendencies and blatant cowardice and booed her exit. If the creative team can construct segments like this, which prop Belair up and clearly indicate that Lynch is a heel, this turn, unlike 2018, may actually work. Because the last time they tried this, it sold like a lead balloon. Because she was way, way too over. And which was one of the many mistakes that this company has made over the years. But maybe they'll get it right this time. I mean, I would love to see her booked in a way almost similar to Roman. And if they book her like that, whoa, you got 2 mega heels in the making. So that's all there is to say on this. This was, I probably would say probably the segment of the night. So as you noticed by my, I don't have my usual avatar here because I had to sign in on my phone here because I had a little issue. What else is new on my end? But it is all ready to go. So so with that, I'm gonna step out for just a moment. MF, okay. You take it, and I'll be right back.
All right. And I'm just gonna reiterate what Anthony was alluding to earlier, and that was that a little not too long ago. And the one thing that we were saying was that how are you gonna book Becky Lynch? She's mega over. She's one of the biggest popular names in WWE today, and then the word got out that they want to book her as a heel. So we were like, is this really going to work? Is this really going to pan out? I don't know. This could be a good idea. This could be a bad idea. I think the reason why the last time around it failed was because of the fact that they were trying to book her around Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. And those are two polarizing characters in WWE. Fans did not want to rally around Charlotte Flair. Fans did not want to rally around Ronda Rousey, and all of a sudden the fans were gravitating towards Becky Lynch. It was like she was an she had like the Rock push, the Stone Cold Steve Austin push. I think it just did not work. Where this time around, you actually do have a validity and a status and an established babyface in Bianca Belair. This is why I believe this time around, the Bianca Belair, if you want to push Becky as a heel, you need true faces to go up against Becky Lynch, and they need to be believable. Bianca is a believable babyface, and I truly believe that if you're going to do this, you're doing it right. This is why you got the Becky Lynch heel turn or, trying to push her as a heel. And the funny thing is, when they were mentioning Bianca's name, you heard the boo birds coming out at the very beginning. So obviously, there was a fear that, this is going to backfire again. No, it's not backfiring because Bianca, her character, her style, her attitude is not going to let this fail. Plus, Becky Lynch is so good at playing the cowardly heel that, that also helps. When you get two established, really good performers working their craft and making the crowd do what they're doing, You already got them. So for us, this is great, and I cannot wait what they're going to do in Madison Square Garden. You know that's elevated to a whole new level when you're performing in the Garden. MSG, this is without a doubt, this is WWE territory out of all the states. Because remember, back in the day when they did territorial stuff, the Northeast and New York was WWE territory. This was the home of the World Wrestling Federation. When you were going to Boston in the Boston Garden, the Hartford Civic Center, the Providence Civic Center, and yes, Madison Square Garden, New York City, those were the 4 spots that everybody remembers that is true WWE home turf. So when you go to Madison Square Garden, you could already feel that this is going to be a different show already because of the fact that the fans are going to be more electric, that it's going to have a special oomph, as you would say, performing in the world's most famous arena. So at the end of the day, this is why I think a lot of fans are relatively excited, relatively speaking, because of the fact is because we're going to be in the Garden. And when you're in the Garden, forget it, guys. It don't get no better than this. So that's the excitement that you're going to get. That's the excitement we're going to see. So next up we had was a one-on-one match, as it was Dolph Ziggler versus Rick Boogs. Boogs wins the match in 1:30. We're not gonna talk much about that, so we're just gonna move right on along. Then we had Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Cesaro wins the match via disqualification, 9 minutes and 40 seconds. This is probably where Anthony Florio is probably gonna say this is the other moment that that this is probably going to be the other moment where great match, great battle, but the match ends in a horrible DQ finish, let alone that another failure here. Obviously disappointment left across the room here. This was easily could have been a fight of the night candidate, but unfortunately at the end of the day, it does turn into a letdown. When you got Seth Rollins, now it looks like they're setting up for another Rollins versus Edge match. Rollins is unhinged. He's losing his mind. He's probably thinking, how the hell did I lose to Edge at SummerSlam? It looks like we might get another battle. If you're Cesaro, you get the win, so that elevates you up. But probably not the most satisfying victory you get here tonight. But at the end of the day, you kind of get another top of the fight, a top of the night performance from Cesaro. And yeah, so this is easily 3 and a quarter. Would have been 3.5 if it wasn't for the DQ. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Yeah. Seth Rollins' loss to Edge at SummerSlam has sent him on a downward spiral, leading to him adopting his rival's moves and mannerisms, going as far as to show the sort of depravity that once defined the rated R superstar. That was on display here as he threatened Cesaro's well-being with a concerto, stopping only after Edge made his presence felt. Where the Hall of Famer was earlier when Rollins was brutalizing Cesaro was a question best left unexplored for the sake of logic. What should be explored is another match between Edge and Rollins, because their first was the best match on the SummerSlam card. A more intense, potentially violent rematch should be even more fun. Before then, Edge's backstage promo, in which he challenged Rollins to a rematch on next week's show from Madison Square Garden, sets up a huge pay-per-view worthy main event for what is quickly developing into a massive television presentation. They're dubbing it Super Smackdown, because I do believe there will be some superstars from Monday Night Raw that will actually be on the show as well. So if that's true, oh boy, we're going to get some Raw and SmackDown stuff earlier than we're used to. But anyways, 3.25 stars. It was 3.5, but another great match between these two. I mean, it was one of the great feuds of 2021. There is no question about that. And it's official. Next Friday night in Madison Square Garden. If you thought that the Becky and Bianca contract signing was something, you just now added Edge and Seth Rollins to the mix. They're going to fight next week in Madison Square Garden. MF, get ready. That's all there is to say there. So, the last time SmackDown was in the Garden, next Friday will mark 2 years to the day, September 10th of 2019, and it was one of the absolute worst SmackDown lives, if not the worst SmackDown live in history. A show that I personally rated 1 out of 10 because it was that bad. But and Monday Night Raw, we all know Raw was in the Garden the night before, and they lit it up. That show was a 9 out of 10. That show was a 1 out of 10, the SmackDown. But they're like, we're not making that mistake again. So you got a contract signing, and now you're going to throw in Edge and Rollins. If they're smart, they'll make that the main event, unless they have something bigger planned. So, yeah. So 3.25 stars for me on this. I'll probably go as far as to call it the fight of the night. But then again, there is another match that I'm thinking about. So there isn't much more to say on this. So, MF, Michael Bullock has joined us. Let's get him caught up.
All right, Bullock, you don't got really much to cover here. We started with Street Profits versus the Uso. Profits wins the match in roughly 8 minutes via disqualification. So give me your thoughts.
All right. First off, good evening, gentlemen. It's good to see you guys again, as always. But yeah, as far as this match goes, yeah, I'll give it about 1.5 to 2. I mean, I could give it higher, but obviously the DQ finish pretty much ruined it for me. But it is what it is. So 1.5 to 2, Fletch. Onward.
All right. If you want to talk about the promo segment between Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair, you're more than welcome to it.
Did you guys talk about it?
We talked about it, yes.
All right. Well, if you guys talked about it, I definitely will. But yeah, obviously, and I don't know about you, Fletch, but I think this heel Becky, I think it's working perfectly this time. I mean, remember what we talked about last week? We said that they need to be really careful this time around. And I think this is working. And we both said, because she's not feuding with Charlotte Flair. She's feuding with one of the rising young stars of SmackDown in Bianca Belair. So I think this is working perfectly. And I'm actually down with this heel version of Becky. Of course, she's refusing to face Bianca Belair once again, but yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to happen, and all I can say is it better be better than what we saw at SummerSlam, and I think it will. So yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say. I like what I see from this heel Becky, and all I can say is bravo WWE. You're making this looking really good. So I don't know about you, Fletch, but I'm actually down with this.
All right. So after that, then we had Rick Boogs versus Dolph Ziggler. Boogs wins in minute 30. Don't worry, we don't need to talk about that, Bullock. What we did talk about after that was Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Cesaro wins the match in 9 minutes and 40 seconds.
Boy, all I can say is this was definitely a renewal of a great rivalry going into earlier this year, and it certainly did not disappoint. So I'll give this about 3.25 stars for this. I mean, this was unbelievable. I mean, whenever these two get in the ring, all I can say is this definitely turns into something really good. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
All right. Now you are caught up, Mike Bullock. After that, we had a whole bunch of promo segments. And yes, we had a Logan Paul sighting, folks. So I'm happy. Yeah, I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna save it right. I'm gonna stop it right there before Mike Bullock has an aneurysm or gets unleashed. Floyo, hold him back, please. Hold him back. We don't need Bullock flying off the handle. Not tonight. So I could see him seething right now in the corner. So he's really angry right now.
My blood is boiling.
Yeah. Okay, Bullock, we got you. Relax. Go to your neutral corner. Just relax. Sit down. Have some water or something. But yeah, so we had that going. Then we had Dominic Mysterio versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn wins the match in about 2 minutes. Not going to get into that. And yeah, it led us into the main event of the evening, as it was Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor, Universal title on the line, and Roman Reigns wins the match, 11 minutes and 40 seconds. He is still your Universal Champion. Mike Bullock, I'll give it to you. The main event, Roman Reigns successfully defends the title.
And all I can say is, Fletch, if Roman were here, he probably would tell all three of us to acknowledge him after what he did to Finn Balor. So, 3 1/4, 3 1/2. This was another really good match here. I mean, the outcome was never in doubt. I mean, we knew Roman Reigns was gonna go over here, but I'm telling you, Fletch, Roman's not going to have much time to celebrate, because somebody is returning to your blue brand next week, and a certain beast is going to have something to say to the tribal chief. And all I can say is get ready for some fireworks. And I mean, when you put these two in the same ring, oh man, I'm interested to see what happens. So I don't really got nothing more to say, Fletch. Roman may be celebrating right now, but a certain beast might have something to say next week.
I hope they reinforce the roof in Madison Square Garden. I hope they got all of the security in the building, because next week there might be an explosion in the Garden. Like, that is what is going to happen. The Beast is coming back. Fox is salivating over this. Super Smackdown is going to be massive. The Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar, inside of MSG again. It's been a while since we've seen Brock in the Garden. I don't even remember. I don't know. Maybe you got to go all the way back to 2002. And the Survivor Series for Brock to be in Madison Square Garden, I think. I don't even remember. I don't remember the last time Brock Lesnar has been in Madison Square Garden.
WrestleMania 20.
Yeah, all right. I mean, all right, I'll give you 20. I'll give you that. So, I mean, but on that night, it wasn't really a fun welcome for Brock and on that night. But yeah, this is gonna be nuts. This is gonna be insane. So 3 1/4, 3 1/2, definitely fight of the night. Great main event. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
3.5 stars. This was the fight of the night. This was a strong main event that put Roman Reigns over to continue his year-plus long reign as Universal Champion, but also managed to protect Finn Balor. First, the Uso beatdown, then the low blow hampered his ability to capture the title, creating the impression that he probably would have won had it not been for those two occurrences. Balor looked like Reigns' equal, and the fans absolutely bought into him winning down the stretch. They were red hot, proving the effect Balor has on audiences during his energetic comebacks, and how effective Reigns is as the heel fans root against. Balor can very easily turn this performance into a pay-per-view main event against Roman Reigns. That's how effective the booking and performances within were. The teases for Brock Lesnar in the closing moments of the show, as well as Reigns' facial expressions when he realized the danger he is in, and the threat he faces next week were an excellent preview for next week's monumental broadcast. So fight of the night for me, 3.5 stars. Finn, what really put it over the top for me was when Finn got those couple of hope spots, where we thought he was going to win, especially the Kudleka, as we like to call it.
Yeah.
So, that was the hope spot. It looked like referee Ryan Tran's hand came down for 3, but Roman just barely got out of it. And that was literally 2 99 100ths. But yeah, great matchup here, no doubt about it. And Roman gets the win back from 5 years ago on that very first Raw of the new era in 2016, when Finn Balor beat Roman Reigns to earn the Universal match at SummerSlam that year. So, but Roman got that win back. So, and I'm not surprised. So, 369 days and counting, gentlemen, for the Tribal Chief, and he'll get to 370. It'll be 376 when we get to the Garden next week. So, 3.5 stars, fight of the night. And I really hope one day Finn Balor gets another run with that Universal title. He never lost it. It's a damn shame he had to relinquish it because of the injury. And I think if it wasn't for that, I think he would have had a solid run with it. I really do.
Yeah,
so,
I agree with that. So, yeah,
it's a what if file. It's a what if file.
It's
what if he didn't get hurt? So,
yeah,
if he didn't get hurt, I don't. Would it have been as long as his NXT title run? I don't know. We'll see. But great match nonetheless. Fun match. 3.5 stars. This was the fight of the night, mainly because of the crowd, commentary, and by the way, speaking of commentary, it was confirmed Pat McAfee will be back in the Garden next week. So
yeah, that's
perfect
also
timing.
That's another big moment to be in New York, no doubt about it.
And one more thing, Fletch. Roman better not be the only one to be on the lookout for Brock Lesnar.
Paul Heyman, yeah.
But
if you noticed, there was a moment and Paul Heyman's phone goes off and it's Brock Lesnar's music. Really, Paul? You didn't change your ringtone? You still got the Beast's ringtone?
Oh boy!
Oh.
If the Tribal Chief finds out about this, he better. He may be wetting his pants if Roman finds out about it.
Yeah. So we'll wait and see what happens. It's going to be interesting. MSG and now McAfee's coming back. The Garden is going to be electric. And now Pat McAfee coming back. He had the COVID thing. He went off to a wedding for one of his buddies from the Toxic Table from the Pat McAfee show. One of his boys is getting married this weekend. And now he's going, and hopefully he's going to be back. From what I heard, he only got sick for no more than 5 days. He was sick for a couple of days, and then after that, they said he actually was pretty good. They said he actually felt a lot better. They said that 3 days he was under the weather. He had the fever, the high fever, everything else. And as a matter of fact, he's been doing his show, the Pat McAfee show. He started on Monday, but he's still in COVID protocol, so he's still in the COVID compound, which is in his home in Indianapolis. But they've been hooking up via the internet, I think through Zoom or something like that. But Pat McAfee's done the entire show for the last week. And yeah, so hopefully this week on Monday, he's back in the studio with the boys. But, shout out to Pat McAfee. Shout out to this crew. But there is one person I don't like. Boston Connor, you are really pissing me the hell off with your New England Patriots BS. You're more annoying than Derek Ferrera right now. So I was about to say something, but I'm gonna try to keep it as PG as I can and be as nice as I can with my statement. So I'm gonna be very short and sweet with that. But yeah, Boston Connor, you're on my radar, bro. You're on my hit list. That's all I'm saying about that. So overall review, look, as far as the show goes, I can only give it maybe 6.5 to 7. It was good. I'm not going to say it was great. It was solid for the most part. There was some areas where it was good. 3 quality matches. The segment with Bianca and Sasha was excellent. At the end of the day, and actually they really hyped up the show in Madison Square Garden really well. I didn't think that they were going to push about the Garden show, but they really pushed for Madison Square Garden. So I think we got to sell the quality show next week, guys. And now they're saying Monday Night Raw talent's going to be there. Pat McAfee's coming back. Brock is in the house. Contract signing between Bianca and Becky Lynch. And on top of that, we got Rollins versus Edge one-on-one. Dude, this got the makings of the show of the year. This has the makings of being the show of the year for WWE. This could be just as big as opening night, the first night on Fox from LA at the Staples Center. That's how big they're building this show. So what are we going to get? What is it going to look like? This could be awesome. Madison Square Garden, New York City, 1 week from tonight. And they already are booking this as possibly the Smackdown of the year. Anthony Florio, 7 out of 10. It's yours.
Well, they definitely needed to do something to counteract what we had this past Monday night on Raw, which was one of our best Raws of the year. I can't believe I'm saying that still, but you know.
Yeah.
But SmackDown had to do something, man. They had to. All right. I'll be nice. I'll give this a 7 out of 10. I mean, it was a slightly uneven show this week, but ultimately one that I'm okay with putting into the solid category, the good to solid category here. There was a lot of storyline progression, which we all know that's SmackDown's bread and butter, story advancement, particularly with Seth Rollins and Edge, as well as Bianca Belair actually getting a bit of a character along with Becky Lynch, further trying to cement her heel turn. The main event was a pretty damn good TV match that actually left me and all of us, especially UMF, wanting more of Roman Reigns and Finn Balor. The stuff with the Street Profits and Usos is painfully obvious, but when they square up without the surrounding BS, it should be a solid banger as well. Not a great episode, but a good one. Solid, but not overly spectacular. I'll put it that way. The 3 main events, I mean, on paper, all had potential to be bangers. 2 of them, Roman and Balor, yes, it was a banger. Rollins and Cesaro was on their way to being a banger before Uncle DQ got involved. And the Profits and the Usos, same thing, could have been a banger, but Uncle DQ ruined that as well. If all 3 of those matches, I mean, if the other 2 matches, Cesaro and Rollins and the Profits Usos MF, if those 2 matches had been just as good as what we got with Roman and Balor, we would have been talking a much higher rating. But unfortunately, those 2 DQ finishes definitely hamper the rating. So, and then you had a couple of dud fights in there. And then that BS with Logan Paul. Don't even get me started on that POS. So that's all there is to say on that. So solid 7 for me. Bullock, did you go or?
No, I didn't go.
Okay, just wanted to be sure. I didn't want to botcheroo on this. So 7 out of 10 for me. Bullock, take it home, and then we'll get ready for Rampage.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 for me. I mean, I thought it was a good show. Not great, but yeah, those 2 things from those good matches there, if those DQs didn't happen, I probably would have given it a higher rating. But Fletch, I mean, there is one thing I want to address, and I don't know how you feel about it. It's Naomi. I mean, what in tarnation are they doing to her?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the 2nd straight week she gets blown off by Sonya Deville. I mean, she just returned last week. She gets blown off. And she gets blown off again this week.
I think what they're going to do is I think they're trying to start that groundswell. Remember that groundswell that Anthony was talking about on social media to give Naomi a chance? I think they're going to start to plant that seed. I think what they're going to do is they're trying to make her an afterthought. They're basically telling her, we got nothing for you. We didn't even know you're on the roster. They're trying everything that they can do to disrespect her. I think there's going to be a moment, and I think it's going to have to come after Extreme Rules. And I really hope they do something in Madison Square Garden. I really think they should do something in Madison Square Garden because that crowd will rally behind Naomi. I think it's going to have to be one of those moments where Naomi's going to have to do something. She's going to have to force the issue here. But the thing is, when is the right moment? And the thing, and I get what they're doing with the storyline, and I actually like this because now, remember what they were doing back then. Give Naomi a chance. Give Naomi a chance. Give Naomi a chance. Now you're starting to see life imitating art. She's getting disrespected. She's getting held down. She's not even given an opportunity. It's time that the WWE Universe rallies around Naomi, and I think it's time that we start rallying around her and saying, hey, give her a chance. She's good. I think it's time. But we got to push it now. So all you fans out there on social media, start doing it. Get on social media. Get on
Send that message. Send that message to Sonya Deville.
Send that message to Sonya Deville. Let Adam Pearce hear about it. Put those hashtags. I don't care if it's on Instagram, if it's on Twitter, if it's on Facebook. I don't care if it's on Snapchat, whatever. Like I've always said about, sharing, liking, spreading it through all the social media platforms. This is one of those battle cries right now. Give Naomi a chance. That hashtag was hot once before. It's time that we do it again. It's time, guys. Rally
because if she gets brushed off, because if she gets brushed off again and nothing's done, then what was the point of all this?
It's time that we attack, guys. It's time. Madison Square Garden, New York City. There's no excuses, guys. You want to do it, you got to do it now. No, I can't say what Jim Rome would say.
Send that message to Sonya Deville and tell her, give Naomi a chance. Come on, New York. You're known for the great fans you are. It's time to send that message to Sonya Deville. Give Naomi a chance.
Anthony already put the hashtag up there. Naomi deserves better. That was the battle cry that they were doing back then. This is the battle cry we need now, more than ever before. All right, We're done. We're going to AEW. Let's get off of WWE for tonight. Let's get into AEW, guys. So we're going to start it off. Malachi Black went one-on-one with Lee Johnson. Malachi Black wins the match in 9 minutes and 57 seconds. Solid match. It was more of a showcase for Malachi Black. Finally, they give him a match where it wasn't a squash. It wasn't a one-sided affair. Yes, there was a little bit of action from Lee Johnson, but the outcome was never in doubt. It was a 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star match. I can't give it 3. It wasn't a delicious squash, but it was a squash nonetheless. Florio, it's yours.
I believe the correct term is extended squash, MF, on that. So I'm sure you'll agree with my sentiments there. So 2.5, 2 3/4. I agree with MF's rating. The match was simple and effective. It didn't have 1,000 different moves or many high-flying spots, but it told a concise story about Black and his feud with the Nightmare Factory. Johnson has improved a lot since joining AEW. He has bulked up a bit and is beginning to look like a professional wrestler. He may not have won, but he put up a good fight. The outcome of the match was never in question, but predictability is not always a bad thing, only if it makes sense for the story being told. Black looked like a dominant bully, which is exactly what was supposed to happen. And gentlemen, this Wednesday night on AEW Dynamite from Cincinnati, Malachi Black's going to be in for a tough fight because he's going to be going up against Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes came in after the match was over, and next week, Malachi Black and Dustin Rhodes. You want to talk about a man fight? That's going to be a man fight right there. No doubt about that. So Cincinnati, get ready. That's all there is to say. So 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. Bullock, outcome was never in doubt, but next week, Malachi Black, he's going to be in for a tough match against the natural Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, 2.5 stars. The outcome, like you said, was never in doubt. I mean, it was more, like you said, a showcase for Malachi Black. I mean, yeah, Johnson definitely put up a good fight, but yeah, I mean, the match was never in doubt, but yeah, Wednesday on AEW Dynamite, Malachi Black is definitely going to have a much bigger challenge ahead of him in Dustin Rhodes. So nothing else to say, Fletch. Let's move on.
Then we had a 2-on-1 handicap match as it was, 2-on-1 handicap match as it was Jamie Hayter and Rebel, not Reba, going up against Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander wins the match in 4 minutes and 11 seconds. The Alien gets a little momentum as she got a date with Destiny this Sunday night for the AEW Women's World Title as she goes up against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Anthony Floyo, it's yours.
Like Malachi Black versus Lee Johnson, this was short and to the point. Chris Statlander looked great defeating 2 women at once, but she didn't have an easy time with it. So Rebel and Jamie Hayter did not look like jobbers. Some of the moves Statlander used were unique and interesting, which is something that popped Chris Jericho on commentary a few times. She has versatility that is just starting to really show itself. It was good that this did not end with with Dr. Britt Baker and her crew beating Chris Statlander up. We don't need that in every go-home segment. We don't. So I'll probably give this about 2, 2 1/4 for the effort. It was the worst fight of the night, but, served its purpose and definitely made Statlander look like a legitimate threat for the Good Doctor's women's titles. So we'll get into that in a little bit when we preview All Out. But for right now, by default, the worst fight of the night, even though it wasn't remotely all that bad, but it didn't exactly set the world on fire either. So 2, 2 1/4. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, 2 stars for me. I mean, it was short, sweet, and to the point. I mean, it wasn't that bad a match because, like you said, Rebel and Jamie Hayter didn't. I mean, they actually gave Chris Statlander a tough time. But like you said, the outcome was never in doubt. You want to give Chris Statlander some momentum going into that AEW Women's World Title match Sunday night against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. So will she get the job done? We'll have to wait and find out. So nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours. Chris Statlander goes into this match with some momentum.
She does indeed. It's a 2-star match. I get it. I just feel bad for Rebel. How on earth it looked like Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter are just better, literally to Stat at the end to get submitted. She didn't even save him. She didn't even save her at the end, man. I mean, fine looking thing, and that's what happens to her here tonight. Damn, man. I'm a little peeved at Dr. Britt Baker here tonight. I'm a little peeved, but that's just my personal opinion, not anybody else's. I'm just leaving that one to be. But solid match, 2 stars, and I'm glad that Stats won. Stats needed this. Stats needs the momentum. She needs the opportunity, and a lot of people believe that there's an outside chance. Now I don't know if we're gonna say that she is a favorite, but there's a glimmer of hope that maybe Chris Statlander could be walking out of Chicago on Sunday night, the new AEW Women's World Champion. There is a chance, like Anthony says, we'll call it a puncher's chance, but there is a chance. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how this plays out. I got really nothing more to add. That does lead us to the main event, as it was Daniel Garcia versus Darby Allin. And it was Darby Allin winning the match in 10 minutes and 43 seconds. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this was a good match here. I'll give it 3 stars for the effort here. I mean, it definitely gives Darby Allin some momentum going into his much anticipated match against CM Punk, and Punk was on commentary, and yeah, definitely things got interested near the end when these two were in the ring. So yeah, all I can say is, boys, come Sunday night, this is the match I'm definitely going to have the most vested interest in. And Anthony and Mike, I think you know a certain someone in my family is going to have a lot of interest in it.
Oh, we know. We know.
Yep.
We definitely know about that about your yes, we know.
Yep, my cousin Tori Dakotas, I've been telling her about it, and she's going to do all she can to try to watch this, because she knows she's looking forward to seeing her man wrestle for the first time in 7.5 years. And I mean, I think we're all going to be interested in this match to see what CM Punk has after being away from the ring for over 7 years. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours. Darby Allin goes into this match with momentum, but boy, all I can say is this could be his toughest challenge, because CM Punk, you know this man's going to be motivated.
Without a doubt, this is going to be an incredible match. This is going to be an incredible title a big opportunity for him going up against the hometown hero. No doubt about it. So at the end of the day, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it is going to be. So we're going to do it. We're going to do it from there. And then, so we're going to wait and see how this plays out. But yeah. So, yep, there's really nothing more to add. And we're ready to go. And it was a solid match. It was about a 3. I'm going to say about a 3.5 star main event. And yeah, Anthony, go ahead. It's yours.
All right, I just wanted to be sure. So 3 to 3.25 stars for this. This was a fun match that somehow managed to not feel like a foregone conclusion the moment it started. We all knew Darby Allin would win, but it also seemed like AEW might pull a swerve in some way. CM Punk not needing to help Darby Allin was the right move. He doesn't need to save his opponent, and Darby Allin taking out 2.0 by himself made him look dangerous. And that's all there is to say there. So 3 to 3.25 stars for me. Now let's get into our overall review.
All right, the overall review. I'm going to say this. This was a solid AEW show. This gives us a little bit of momentum going into the All Out that goes down on Sunday. At the end of the day, I can only give this maybe another 7 out of 10. But look, it did what it needed to do. It was a paint by numbers show. The Malachi Black was an extended squash. Chris Statlander had somewhat of a squash match. The one match that kind of said it, that actually was good quality, was Darby versus Daniel Garcia. But at the end of the day, it was fine for what it was worth. There was really nothing more to add. So 7, Anthony, go.
Yeah, it was a solid 7 or so out of 10. Yeah, 7 is the correct rating for this. The wrestling itself was only pretty good, but this show's job was to set things up for the pay-per-view. It did a nice job of giving some of the lower level matches, plus CM Punk and Darby Allin, some extra attention, and that is what Rampage can be very good for in the future. Good show, and the kind of thing that AEW has been needing. So it's a solid 7 out of 10 for me. Bullock, let's get into your overall review, and then we'll get ready for our all-out preview.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 for me. I mean, it was a solid show. I mean, the handicap match was the worst fight of the night, and obviously the fight of the night being Darby Allin and Daniel Garcia. The Malachi Black Lee Johnson match was it was an all right match, but nothing really that much to write home about. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Fletch, I think it's time to get into our all-out preview.
All Out preview goes down, and it's going down, like I said, Sunday night from the Now Arena, and we started it off. Well, let's do this. It's gonna be the Battle Royale, the 21 women casino Battle Royale, for the shot at where the winner will get a future match for the AEW Women's World Title. I mean, it's a who's who in the women's division. I mean, you got Nyla Rose, you got Thunder Rosa, you got the Bunny, you got Big Swole, Julia Hart, Ty Conte, Diamante, Penelope Ford, Red Velvet, Hikaru Shida, Emi Saraka, Jay Cargill, you got Kara Hogan, you got Layla Hirsch, you got Abaddon, Kaylin King, Rebel, Jamie Hayter, Anna Jay, Rio, Sky Blue, and there is one spot left that we don't know who that's going to be, but AEW rumors are swirling that it could be Heidi Lovelace, a.k.a. Ruby Riott, could be the Joker. So we that could be that, but as far as who I think is going to win it, I'm actually going to go out of the box here, guys. Jade Cargill is my pick to win the whole thing. She's been billed as one of the biggest names. She's been undefeated since starting in AEW, and I think now is the time to give her the ultimate push. So for me, I believe when it's all said and done, unless something weird happens, I think Jade Cargill will win the Casino Battle Royale. She will be the next in line for the AEW Women's World Title. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, there is a pre-show match on this, the buy-in, and it's going to be a 10-man tag team match. The Best Friends and the Jurassic Express are going to be squaring off against the Hardy Family Office. Matt Hardy, Private Party, and TH2. Face team will win that. So and I know we're all in agreement on that. But as far as this is concerned, the Battle Royale, oh boy, that's a bold prediction. MF really is, but you just made my point for me. We all know AEW loves a big debut at their pay-per-view events. With Ruby Soho, formerly Ruby Riott in WWE, on her way to AEW, it makes sense for her to debut in the Battle Royal and pick up the win. A future title shot is on the line. And if Dr. Britt Baker gets past Chris Statlander, she's going to need a compelling new challenger. There aren't many more compelling options than Soho. I say go for the jugular here. So for me, I disagree with MF, and I am going to go with Ruby Soho, the girl that, Bullock, you remember, I used to call her the Punk Princess in the Dark Angels. So, and I think she's going to debut in a big way. So, yes, indeed. So I'm going with Ruby Soho to win the to not only be the Joker, but to also win the Battle Royale as well. So, this was originally supposed to be on the buy-in, but unfortunately, the scheduled match between Pac and Andrade El Idolo, unfortunately, will not take place on Sunday night because of travel issues. But, gentlemen, it was confirmed that tonight, that next week on AEW Rampage, we will get that Pac and El Idolo match. So get ready, Rampage next week. You thought SmackDown from the Garden was huge. Now you're going to add this to it. Whoa. Big time Friday night next week. So just wanted to get that out into the open. So Ruby Soho is my pick to win it all, to win the Battle Royale. So Michael Bullock, do you agree with MF? Do you agree with me, or do you have somebody else winning it all together?
I got somebody else who wins it, and I don't know how you guys are going to feel about it. I'm actually going to go with Anna Jay to win it. And the reason why I think it should be her, because remember, she was supposed to get a push before she got hurt. I think this would be a time to give her that push that she was supposed to have before the injury occurred, because I mean, we thought that this was going to be an opportunity for her to get a shot at the AEW Women's World Title. This could be AEW's chance to redeem themselves and have her go over here. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised with either of those two that you guys went with to win, but I'm actually going to go with Anna Jay to win it. So there's nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Oh boy. 3 different opinions, 3 different predictions to win. This is probably the toughest of the night. Maybe one of us is correct, or it could be someone completely different that could win the whole thing and totally blow up our night. So we'll see. This is going to be interesting. Nothing more to say. We got Shitako Kojima versus Jon Moxley, Anthony Florio. You saw the AEW Rampage tonight. Tempers flew, and oh boy, what a match this could be.
Satoshi Kojima. Do you know who that is, MF?
I've heard his name from New Japan. Yes.
All right. Just wanted to let you know. Anyways, Jon Moxley, Satoshi Kojima. We're used to seeing Jon Moxley in bigger programs heading into major events, but who's going to complain about Moxley versus Kojima, even without a story? This is going to be mean and nasty and a ton of fun while it lasts. It does AEW no good to have Kojima come in for a one-off match and beat one of their top stars. So the result here feels obvious. That said, it's going to be excellent while it lasts. In other words, from what I'm seeing here, I think it's going to be a man fight here. So, but then again, anytime Jon Moxley's in a match, it is a man fight, no matter who it is. So, Jon Moxley, I say he wins this match. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a man fight. This is something that I'm interested to see what happens with these two. But I'm with Florio on this one. I'm going with Jon Moxley to win this one. So there's nothing more to say. Fletch, who you got?
Mox, this is easy for me. There's really nothing more to add. So, Mike Bullock, we're going to let you lead off on the next one. It is going to be QT Marshall versus Paul White one-on-one. Who you got?
Well, to me, I mean, this is Paul White's first match in AEW, so to me, I'm going to go with Paul White to beat QT Marshall. I mean, QT Marshall has been pulling the strings and getting the attention of Paul White, especially with some of the disgusting things that he did to Tony Schiavone and obviously Tony Schiavone's son, which I'll openly admit, and I know you guys will admit, was totally reprehensible what QT Marshall did. So to me, I'm going with Paul White to win this one. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, I think they're gonna give Paul White the rub on this one. I think he's definitely gonna be the reason why that he's gonna win this. I really got nothing more to add here. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go with Paul White, even though I know this will be the worst fight of the night, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. So yeah, Anthony, it's yours.
Does anyone really care what happens here? QT Marshall was mean to Tony Schiavone, and Paul White came to Schiavone's aid. This past Dynamite served as an opportunity to try and stack the deck against White, with Billy Gunn and the Gun Club turning on Paul White and attacking his surgically repaired hip with a chair. Still, this should be short and to the point, with White overcoming some interference for a choke slam and a feel-good win. This will be the worst fight of the night. This has dud written all over it, but Paul White wins. Let's move on.
Yeah, so next up we would have is Chris Jericho versus MJF. If Chris Jericho loses, he must retire from in-ring competition. All right, I've thought about this a number of ways, and I'm about to piss off my own panel on this. MJF wins. I got Maxwell Jacob Freeman winning the match and ending Chris Jericho's in-ring career. Here's the reason why. Hear me out. One, Jericho and Fozzy are about to go into touring again. So I think they're going to want to give Chris Jericho some time away there. Two, I think they're going to want to transition Chris Jericho into a commentator. And the reason why is because Jim Ross is not going to be a full-time commentator much longer. He's going to be doing part-time very, very soon. And you're going to need somebody to help out along the way. And I think what you're going to see is a lesser appearances by Jim Ross. And you're going to see maybe Jericho, Taz. You can use CM Punk. You can use Mark Henry. You can use Paul White. There's a number of guys that you got that you can use to fill in for JR. So Shivani will still be there. You'll still have Excalibur. But as far as the third man goes, I think they're going to start interchanging a whole bunch of different guys as far as commentators go. So for me, honestly, I gotta say it's going to go that way. So sorry, guys. I know this is an unpopular decision, especially from you, Michael Bullock. Winner of the bout, Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF. Florio, it is yours.
MF makes a really great, compelling argument here. He really does. And I'm sort of compelled now to go with that. But I'm still going with my gut here. I mean, Jericho's career is on the line in this match, which generally gives a sense of how things are going to play out. There's no indication that Jericho is actually ready to fully hang up his boots, nor does it seem the crowd is ready to stop singing Judas during Jericho's ring walk. MJF has been well-positioned as a top heel and has had Jericho's number for the better part of a year. But pro wrestling conventions say Jericho needs to get a win back at some point, and the quest to get to this match set him up to do so. So, I'm going with my gut here. My gut was telling me to go with Jericho because of even before MF dropped this nuke on us, but I'm going with Jericho to win. But if MJF were to win, I would not at all be surprised. I mean, because Jericho is a fun. He is so fun on commentary. I mean, he's like AEW's version of Pat McAfee when it comes to commentary, you know. So and I wouldn't mind that at all. I mean, commentary is definitely the next thing for him to do when it is time for his career to end. And if it ends here, hey, what a way to go. But for right now, I'm taking a chance here. I'm going with Jericho. But if MJF were to win, I would not at all be surprised. But I got a hunch that Jericho is due. So I'm going with my gut. I'm going with Chris Jericho to win. So Bullock, do you agree with me and Jericho, or do you agree with MF and MJF?
Boy, this is a really tough one. I really do think so. But man, I mean, I'm with Florio on this one. I gotta go with Chris Jericho, and it's not because of my hatred for MJF. And I mean, yes, I do hate the guy, but I mean, Florio makes a good point. I mean, whenever somebody's career is on the line, they always seem to rise to the occasion. And here's another thing. MJF, I mean, he's gotten the best of Chris Jericho up to this point. So somewhere, sometime, Jericho needs to get a win over MJF, and I think the time is now. I'm going with Chris Jericho to win. I would not at all be surprised if MJF wins this match. So, nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
All right, next up we have is the AEW TNT Championship Match. Miro goes one-on-one with Eddie Kingston. and I believe it goes to Anthony Florio. So, Florio, you get this one. Kingston versus Miro for the TNT title.
One of the best things to happen in AEW has been Eddie Kingston finally getting to shine on a big stage. That was never going to happen in WWE or anywhere else. But AEW is a place that allows someone as universally respected as Kingston to thrive. As great as it would be to see him get a run as a champion, I don't think it's likely to come against Miro, who is still fairly early into what figures to be a long run with the TNT Championship. Miro will get pushed here. Don't get me wrong. Kingston will give him maybe the toughest fight since Miro won the TNT title from Darby Allin some time ago. But Miro will get pushed here before managing to finish Eddie off. So winner and still the TNT champion, it's Miro. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Miro to regain the TNT Championship. But yeah, this is definitely gonna be a man fight, no doubt about it. But Miro's really getting pushed here. I don't think this is the time to end this run here. So Kingston will definitely give him some fits, but in the end, it's going to be Miro retaining the TNT Championship. So nothing else to say. Fletch, it's yours.
I got to go Miro as well. I totally agree with all your guys' sentiments. So I'm just going to move right on along. Next up, we have inside the steel cage. The AEW World Tag Team titles on the line. The champion, the Young Bucks, versus the challengers, the Lucha Bros. Michael Bullock, it is all yours.
Oh man. This one here is going to be something really good here when you got these two inside a steel cage. Oh, this is a tough one for me to go with. Oh, I gotta go with the Young Bucks here to retain the titles. I got a feeling that something's gonna happen here. I mean, the Bucks, they're gonna find some way to regain the title. So I'm going with the Young Bucks here, but I would not be surprised if the Lucha Bros win it. But to me, I gotta go with the Young Bucks because somewhere down the line, I think Jurassic Express should get the title shots, and that I think is the time when the Young Bucks will drop it. So I'm going with the Bucks to win. Fletch, it's yours.
I think we've all been saying it that they made a mistake that they gave the Lucha Bros this title shot. That this should have been Jurassic Express all along. I'm totally with you, Michael Bullock. I totally agree with everything you just said there. I think that the Lucha Bros, look, they're a great tag team. They're gonna fight, and this is gonna be one of the biggest fights of the evening. But I just don't see them walking out with the belts. I just don't. I think the winners of the bout and still the tag team champions of the world is gonna be the Young Bucks. I think they're gonna cheat. I think it could be Brandon Cutler. It could be Michael Nakazawa. There's gonna be some kind of kooky finish. Even though, yes, it's inside a steel cage, there's ways that you can interfere in a steel cage fight. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen. Bucks win. They keep the belts. Anthony, go.
It's hard to imagine this isn't a show-stealing match. We've seen these teams tear it up before, and adding a steel cage to the mix should make for some fun new twists on that already successful mix. While it feels like the Bucks should drop the titles to Jurassic Express and having all of the elite available to interfere despite the cage, it still seems at least one title needs to change hands at this big pay-per-view event. So I'm going to go against the grain here. And especially after what we saw on Dynamite this past week when the elite, when we saw super elite mode obviously activated far too many times. I'm going with my hunch once again. I think these boys are due for comeuppance here, and if I'm wrong, whatever. I mean, I know I should go with you guys on this one, but no, I'm lone wolf in this one. Winners and new AEW World Tag Team Champions, Penta El Zero Miedo, and Rey Fenix, the Lucha Brothers. I think they're due. Move on.
All right. Okay. AEW Women's Title match on the line. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD versus Chris Statlander. I got to go with the doctor. I got to go with the good doctor. I just don't see it. I don't see her losing the title here. Like I said, depending on who gets the opportunity next, we'll go from there. But right now, I think Dr. Britt is on the verge of a long title run. We've been saying about different women who should get the opportunity. Right now, I think Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, is going to get the job done. So for me, winner and still the AEW Women's World Champion, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Chris Statlander is a fine title challenger and a good talent. It's been nice to see AEW's women's division developing more and more in recent months. Still, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, is the first real star AEW has developed on the women's side and is a solid champion. It seems unlikely that Baker is going to lose the belt here, even against a capable and credible challenger. So, winner and still the AEW Women's World Champion, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Michael Bullock, are we going to make it unanimous?
I'm making it unanimous. Dr. Britt Baker is still going to be your AEW Women's World Champion. I mean, Chris Statlander will definitely give her some fits, but in the end, I mean, Britt Baker's on an absolute roll. I just think it's too soon to take the belt off of her. So, winner and still the AEW Women's World Champion, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Move on, Fletch.
Next up, we got Darby Allin versus CM Punk. Anthony, it's yours.
I know there's an AEW World Championship match. I get that. But the way they've been hyping this match, guys, I don't know why, but my gut is telling me that this may end up being the damn main event.
I don't know why. Yeah, very much so, yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. But it's just because of all the hype. Because I think because of no match on this card has been hyped more than this one, and rightfully so. Fans have waited 7 years to see CM Punk return to the ring, one of the elite wrestlers of his generation with his skills both in the ring and on the microphone. Punk's return was always going to be the biggest thing on whatever card he was on. In Darby Allin, CM Punk has the perfect comeback opponent. Allin is a spectacular young talent whose style should mesh well with Punk while not pushing him into an uncomfortable place stylistically. Punk needs to get the win here in front of his hometown crowd in his comeback match. It's the only thing that makes sense. I would not at all be surprised if these two end up stealing the damn show. I would also not be surprised if this ends up being a damn 5-star classic. I would not at all be surprised if that's the case. So with that being said, it would be very interesting if Darby Allin were to win, but I don't think AEW even has the balls to do that. So first match in 7 years, you really think they're going to have Punk lose, and especially in Chicago? Not on your life. Winner of the match, CM Punk, but Michael Bullock, you better believe Darby Allin is going to give him one hell of a try.
Yeah, he's definitely Darby Allin's going to give CM Punk one hell of a fight, and yeah, this is the match I'm going to have the most vested interest in. I mean, this is a match that has been built up. This is a match everybody's been talking about. CM Punk's first match in 7.5 years. I mean, this is almost going to be like 2011 Money in the Bank when it was in Chicago. CM Punk, the hometown boy, is going to get the big time ovation, and Darby Allin. I feel bad for you, man, because I think Darby Allin's going to get crucified by that crowd, because they're going to be all CM Punk here. So, yeah, I mean, I'd be very interested to see what would happen if Darby Allin does go over. But AEW and Tony Khan they're not even going to make the big mistake and have Darby Allin go over in Chicago. So, winner of the match is CM Punk. In my honest opinion, this match should be the main event as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's in CM Punk's hometown, for gosh sakes. I mean, I understand you want to put the AEW World Title as the main event, but for once in your life, Tony Khan, you don't have to make the AEW World Title the main event.
They've done that before. They've done
main
that
event.
Before.
Yeah.
There have been times.
So if they've done it before, if they've done it before, they can do it again. So
certainly.
So I'm pleading with you, Tony Khan. Please put this match as the main event.
All right. And, if this is the main event or not, the final match that we're going to be covering here tonight, the AEW World Title on the line, as it is AEW, and more importantly, just as a side note, the AAA Mega Campeon, Kenny Omega, as he goes one-on-one with the current Impact Wrestling World Champion, Christian Cage. The AEW World Title is on the line only. Michael Bullock, you lead off on this match.
Yeah, I mean, after Kenny Omega lost the Impact World Title to Christian Cage, Kenny Omega is definitely going to get some payback here. So, as much as I really want to see Christian Cage win the match, and also as much as I want to see Don Callis lose his mind, I just don't think it's going to happen. Kenny Omega is still going to be the AEW World Champion, and I would not be surprised we see some shenanigans, whether it's from Gallows and Anderson or anybody from the Elite, and especially that doofus I cannot stand, Don Callis. So nothing else to say. Kenny Omega retains the title. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Look, I gotta say, I'm definitely with you on this one. I think Kenny Omega will win the match. I think Kenny Omega will keep the title. And I do believe it's going to be an overbooked finish. I do not think it's going to be anything clean here. Nothing more to add, Anthony. It's yours.
Real quick on that, I don't know if I heard it or if I heard it or not, or if I did, I apologize in advance. But did you give you a pick for the Punk and Allen match?
I agree with you guys, and I would go with CM Punk as well. No, I made it unanimous.
All right, I wasn't sure if you did, but
yeah.
But anyways, I'll make this unanimous as well. Christian Cage already picked up a win over Kenny Omega to land the Impact World Championship on the debut Rampage, the very first match of it, nonetheless, 3 weeks ago. It would make little sense for him to get a second win and take another title. It would make even less sense for Omega's championship reign to fall to Cage, who was not brought in to be AEW's top champion. The Omega championship story likely ends with a loss to Adam Hangman Page. I believe that will be at the next pay-per-view in November, Full Gear. Not Christian Cage. That said, if the Impact title match on on Rampage was any indication, fans are in for a treat when Omega and Cage go at it again on Sunday night. But Christian won the first time. Not going to happen this time. I'm sorry. Winner and still AEW World Champion, Kenny, by God, Omega. MF, take it home.
All right, and we are indeed going to take it home. And we're going to, as always, we'll start it off with Ridiculously Raw on Monday night. On Wednesday night will be the recap of AEW All Out. And then we will have the usual NXT and AEW Dynamite. And then we do this all again. So we got a great full week of action, guys. We're going to start it off on Monday with Ridiculously Raw with Anthony Florio. So until then, have a good night, everybody. We'll see you guys on Monday. And so long for now.